Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're continuing the ComfyUI workflow series, and today we're getting into the tools section of the workflow pack. If you haven't grabbed the pack yet, there's a link in the description. The tools section is a collection of utility workflows. These don't generate images themselves, but help you edit, enhance, organize, or manipulate images in different ways. Let's go through them one by one. The compare images workflow is super simple. Just load two images into the input nodes and you'll be able to swap back and forth between them. Great for reviewing different outputs or checking before and after changes. Next is the crop image workflow. You load in an image, draw a square mask using Paint Pro, and it'll crop out just that selected area. Right now, Paint Pro doesn't have a dedicated draw square option, which would make this much easier. But I've kept this node in because it's already used in other workflows and it keeps the setup consistent. Hopefully the devs will update this in the future. The expression editor is a bit more experimental and can have mixed results. It tries to detect faces in your image and lets you adjust things like facial expressions or head angles. Sometimes the results can be a little rough, so I recommend running the output through the face detailer afterward to clean things up. This is one of the most useful tools. Face detailer lets you enhance and clean up faces in your images. Especially useful if you're generating lots of drafts and want to fix the face without redoing the whole thing. You can run a low quality image through this and it'll rebuild the face. Cycles controls how many times it runs the detailing pass. I usually go with low denoise and higher cycles, which keeps the overall structure while adding more definition. I'm still a bit new to using Florence 2. It's mostly used for auto-selecting features for masking, but I'm still figuring out exactly how to get the most out of it. If you're into experimenting, it's worth trying, but expect a bit of trial and error. The image tiling workflow is great if you want to break an image into pieces and process each one individually. The ultimate Upscale workflows already do this automatically, but this tool can let you do it manually. Use the image tiler to slice your image into rows and columns with optional overlap. After processing the tiles, use the tile rebuilder to stitch everything back together. Just load the folder of processed tiles, match the row, column, and overlap settings, and it'll rebuild the image for you. It's super useful if you're trying to make large, high-detail images by taking the individual tiles and running those through an upscaler individually, and then putting them back together. Image to prompt is pretty awesome. Load an image and it'll generate a prompt. There are two generation options, but one of them recently stopped working, so right now just use the first option. Hopefully I can fix or update the second one later on. The map processor is for creating visual maps from your images. Things like depth maps, canny edge maps, or pose estimation. Just load your image, select a preprocessor, and hit run. Super helpful if you're setting up workflows with ControlNet or similar tools. Most workflows already have these built in, but this tool gives you that manual control to see what maps you can get from images without running a full workflow. The mask creator tries to automatically detect and generate masks for things like hair, clothing, eyes, and so on. It doesn't always get it right, but it can be a nice head start when you just need to create masks quickly. The metadata extractor lets you pull metadata from an image. It's super useful if you're trying to figure out how an image was made, especially if it came from ComfyUI or another generation tool. You'll get info like the model used, prompts, settings, and more. It won't work on every image, but when it does, it's incredibly helpful. The palette extractor will pull a color palette from your image. Just set the number of colors you want in the palette and it'll do the rest. Pixelate is just a pixelation filter. It's useful if you have an image that's supposed to be pixel art, but it came out too smooth. For example, something generated with ChatGPT or another hosted AI. This will make it look more authentically pixelated. Remove background is a basic background remover. It won't give you Photoshop level precision, but it's great if you just want to quickly pull a subject out of a background. It's great if you're in a creative flow and just want to quickly cut something out. Simple Upscale does exactly what it says. It upscales the image to a larger resolution without adding much extra detail. It's not perfect, but it's useful when you just need to make something bigger. Think of it like a free basic version of Topaz Gigapixel. That's the full tools section in the workflow pack. These utility workflows can really streamline your process. I'll keep adding more as I come up with new ideas or tools that make sense to include. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave a comment or come hang out in the Discord. The link will be in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.